first up, we have the fabulous Christine Baranski. Please welcome Lily James. Amanda Seyfried. Cher. Judy Craymer. Benny Andersson. Jessica Keenan and Alexa Davis. All the ladies and Benny. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to ask questions in just a second, but Judy, I'd love to start with you, if that's okay, please. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to you all, because what a fantastic film, just wonderful. Judy, for you, this journey and the 10 years between these two films, how did you get to this point, and how does it feel to be here now that the new film is ready to be unleashed?
Oh, well, so many emotions. Well, I have to admit, it's taken 10 years, but we weren't thinking about it every day. So it's something that we always considered we'd like to do, and that Donna Langley at Universal had always championed it. But it was a matter of finding the right story, a matter of bringing back our wonderful legacy cast, as we call them, the original cast, and how to use the songs and how the songs would earn their place in a story. So that took, 9 years to think about. And I think the great thing was that, sorry, I'm fumbling now. I discussed with Philip Lloyd and Catherine Johnson, the two original architects of the first one, of doing another film, and they weren't that keen. So they felt very close to the material, and so kind of gave me the blessing to look for another writer. And one of the things we were always interested in doing was a prequel, because Catherine Johnson's story was so rich in the backstory of how did Donna get to the island, what was the odyssey of the men and Donna and the journey. So I called Richard Curtis, as you do, who I'm a huge fan of, and his romantic comedies. And he said, well, Godfather 2, you're going to go back and forth in time. So I was like, yes, that's it. But then Richard said, unfortunately, he couldn't write it because he was busy doing his own projects. But he introduced me to the wonderful Ol Parker, and we conspired, and here we are now. And so it was a matter of going back in time, back and forth in time, and then bringing the cast back together.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up to you guys. Great. I'm going to start at the front, and we'll get microphones over there as well. So we'll start with you here, please. Thank you.
Hi, a movie walker in Japan would like to ask a question to Cher, Amanda, and Lily. Just because in this movie, a bond between mother and daughter is so beautifully portrayed, just wondering if you have any fond memory of watching a movie together with your own mum, and if so, what movie was it? And also, who would you like to watch this movie with?
Who is it?
Whoa. I'll take it after you.
I think I maybe watched Mamma Mia with my mum.
Yes.
I'm just gonna dive in. I reckon I watched the first film with my mum, and I'm such a huge fan. It blew me away, and I think I'll watch this one with my mum.
It's my mom's birthday on the 20th. Because she couldn't be here because she's wonderful, a beautiful grandmother and nanny to my daughter. I'm going to take her myself, just the two of us. I'm going to wear a hat and a wig and take her. Yeah, it's exciting, this one.
Cher?
I watched all old movies. My mother was an old movie buff, and so early on in my life, my mother started me watching old black and white films, and I still love them. And we watched musicals, and I can't remember, I remember seeing Mildred Pierce. That wasn't a musical, and it was kind of a down movie, but it was really good, and I liked the fact that Joan Crawford had been let go by her studio, and the next movie she made got her an Academy Award. So my mother and I watched all old movies together, and I appreciate that now more than I can say.
Thank you. We'll go across here. Go. Yeah, Just talk, go.
Just talk, okay. Mr. Andersson, congratulations for the new arrangement of the music. I saw the movie yesterday. I'm Georgi from Bulgarian National TV, and tell me more, what is the most important for you when you started pre-arrange the ABBA classical songs for the new actors, for the new voices, and for the new scripts? Tell me more about the process.
Well, I don't know where to start. I can say that in order to create this script, there had to be a number of songs piled together. And we couldn't really use the 22 songs from the first film. We could use maybe 2 or 3, which we have. Dancing Queen is in, Mamma Mia is in, because it's called Mamma Mia. And a slice of, what is it? I Have a Dream. Yeah. So, having the songs is important because otherwise there's nothing to write a story around, because the lyrics in the songs are moving the story forwards. So, then we had a script from Mr. Parker, who's a lovely guy, by the way. And we said, well, maybe not this one, or maybe not that one.
Songs.
I think we swapped 1 or 2 of them, yeah. Right?
Yeah, so, like the opening song, When I Kissed the Teacher, Ol and I went to Sweden to meet with Benny and Björn, and in that moment in the script, in Donna's graduation moment, Ol had written Super Trooper because he wanted an exuberant, fun song. And then when we were sitting with you guys, I think it was Björn that said, what about When I Kissed the Teacher? No, it couldn't have been Björn, must have been Benny, who said When I Kissed the Teacher, which of course worked brilliantly with the lyrics, and I think the point of the movie and the stage show and the last movie is to reinvent those songs, to kind of recreate them. And I think a song like When I Kissed the Teacher did that, but none of them could work without Benny being in control of all the music, of course.
And I should continue there, because I've been trying to be as true to the original arrangements as possible, apart from maybe swapping keys, because there are other singers, apart from 1 or 2 numbers, like My Love, My Life, which is totally different, which is the last song in the film, or second to last. So, but it's a joy, you know. You go into these songs, I haven't been working on them for whatever, 39 years, and the band comes in. They want sheet music, but they never look at it. They know the songs already, you know. So it's really smooth, and all great singers here, you know.
Especially Cher.
Yeah.
Cher, when you started your relationship with ABBA's music?
Pardon?
Your relationships, when you start to be a huge fan of ABBA?
Well, you know, in America, we knew the hit songs, you know, the major hit songs. But then when I heard Fernando, I heard a different thing. I knew the story, but I heard the acting of it, you know, and and I didn't realize the songs were so complicated, and I didn't realize how well orchestrated and produced they were, and I'm not just saying that because of him. But then when I thought how to interpret it, it seemed so perfect for Andy and I, and it seemed so perfect for the relationship that we had and seeing each other again. So the story, the song, and the story were like that.
Thank you. Question down here. Come on.
Hi, I'm Eve, I'm 17, and I loved the first film. I have 2 questions for Lily and Amanda. You have such a great female cast to work with, and I'm even happier seeing the characters on the screen. How did you bond and support each other during the experience?
Partying.
I mean, I have to say, getting into rehearsals with Alexa and Jess and dancing by their side I have never felt a high like that in my life. We became like this girl band, and the power of that and the strength and the joy was just amazing. They're dynamos forever. And but all of us were supporting each other, weren't we? It was a really beautiful, beautiful energy on set.
It was crazy, like coming back after 10 years, and you guys had really started shooting. You set the tone for the entire shoot by doing the bulk of your stuff before we even descended upon Croatia. And then when we got there, you guys were all warm and cozy, and you made us feel like warm and cozy, because it was, it's still daunting, as nice as it is to come home in a way. It felt like we all fused at the perfect time and the perfect place, and I think we all, it was very equal, the supporting of, and grateful for that.
Christine, can I ask you about your reaction to when you read the script for the first time for this new film? Because after the success of that first film and how it connected so brilliantly with people, and 10 years down the line, a new script comes for the sequel to that, but a prequel, obviously, in a way. What was your reaction to that script?
Well, I agreed to do the sequel without even seeing a script because I had so much fun. I thought, my first question was, are the same people on board? Is everybody going to agree? And the word was that we were going to, people were going to move heaven and earth to, arrange their schedule, their complicated careers to do it. So that was number one, just getting back to, being with my colleagues. When I read the script, I was so taken with how really original it was to take this original story and do a sequel where you see the maturation of these characters that we've come to know, and that they've been informed by loss, that things have happened in their life, big things, see them coming together with a new emotional depth. And then the brilliance of taking it back in time with, 6 drop-dead, talented, sexy young performers doing all of those sexy rock and roll songs so brilliantly. It's really just an ingenious construct. And, kudos to Ole Parker and Judy and Benny. Everybody waited 10 years to make sure it was going to be exactly right. And I really think they got it just dead right.
Over here, do we have a microphone?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hi, this is a question for Lily. To what extent did you make Donna your own character, given that obviously Meryl Streep plays the older version, and Donna's younger for you? What did you change about her, and what was the process like?
Well, I mean, Donna Sheridan is the most beloved, brilliant, extraordinary woman and character, and Meryl Streep is also all those things, and her Donna was everything, and so therefore I just tried my hardest to watch it and learn from what Meryl did and try and capture the essence of that fearless, uninhibited woman. And I watched the film over and over again to try and sort of get into her body, how Meryl moves, her physicality, how she's so open to the world, just facing it all front on. And I felt that if I could find my way into the physicality, then you would hopefully believe that my Donna could grow into that woman. And then in the end, just surrendering to the moment. I mean, being there with all these amazing people and dancing and singing. And I think that's the spirit of the movie as well, is just, being in the moment. So that's what I try to do.
Alexa and Jess, can I bring you in on that question as well? Obviously, kind of fill in the sort of younger boots of Christine and Julie, and how you prepared for that, and what because you very much, you can see them in your performances, but you can also see your own performances in that as well. Was that easy to try and achieve?
For me, Julie's been like my hero since I was about 5 years old, and I think I've seen everything she's ever done. So I feel like when it came to research, I definitely I watched every interview she'd ever done, especially the ones in the 80s, just to try and see what she was like at that stage in her life. But it is a really interesting thing. Like, Julie's got quite a particular voice, which I was really interested in playing around with. Luckily, we have quite similar physicality already, in that we both sort of look a bit tired all the time. But the amazing thing, all wrote these young women as fantastic characters, and sort of already there on the page. so it was a really fun sort of mesh to do. And the really interesting thing is, you know, you do your own research, you think you know, and then as soon as I met Lily and Jess, it like took it up another level, because what's amazing about these characters is they are stronger together, and it adds a whole new layer when you understand their love for each other and their care for each other, really.
How does one follow that? So beautifully said. I have adored Christine even more as a person, but as an actress for, I would say, like, I mean, I could say my life. I mean, I think that everything that she has done has informed me as a person wanting to be an actress, and I think that that's why when this opportunity came along, people were like, this is perfect for you, and I was like, I can't hear that, because I just, like, how will I ever get past that? And being able to go back and watch Christine in old, you know, in movies that she had done and your TV shows, and capture little bits. Like, I love to go back and look at the way her eyes moved, and look at the way she held a glass, and the way that she slowed down, and just, no, she was never rushed. She was always in the moment and taking it in. And it actually kind of, as cheesy as this is, informed me, like, to just kind of, as crazy as this experience was and as beautiful and momentous, like, to really take a minute to, like, just sit in it and breathe and be present.
I think she's a new and improved version.
Can I say really fast, there was a moment when we were rehearsing Kiss the Teacher right near the beginning, and you snuck into rehearsal.
I know.
And it meant the world to us that you came and you burst into applause, and you were like, you're doing it, girls, you're doing it. And for us, that was everything.
I said, don't trip on those boots.
Which was our biggest fear.
Don't fall off of the platform boot.
We shot the 2 biggest numbers for the first 2 weeks. We did When I Kissed the Teacher and then Mamma Mia. And all we were worried about was, like, if we bust an ankle right now, like, what could possibly happen? But then Tom Cruise did it, so.
Gentleman in second row.
I'm from Portugal, and this is a question for Cher, and also Benny can answer. I don't know. In Portugal, the first film was a record breaker. People were crazy. Almost 1 million people saw the film. I was wondering, you know, why we Portuguese liked it so much, and we love ABBA, of course. And people are telling maybe it's a guilty pleasure thing. When was the last time you had a guilty pleasure feeling, Cher?
I didn't hear the last part.
When was the last time you had a guilty pleasure feeling? Some people say, I love the film, but it's like guilty pleasure.
Pleasure's pleasure, surely.
Yeah.
What is it? I ate 3 candy bars. Yes.
Benny, I think the question for you is why you think ABBA's music resonates in Portugal. I guess
Guilty pleasure?
Is it guilty pleasure?
I don't know. When Ronaldo moved. No, but no. I've never had that experience, I think. And why it's popular in Portugal, I wouldn't know. Maybe there's a connection between the music that comes from us, from up north, and the fado. You know? Could be, because I mean, I love fado. I always did. All the way from Amalia Rodriguez and all. I'm still listening a lot to fado. And I think it has a resemblance. It's something about, I mean, you don't have big pine forests down there, but we do. You don't. It's not as dark in Portugal as it is in Sweden, but there is a similarity, and I think all kind of folk music corresponds with each other. So maybe that's a reason. I don't know.
Thank you. Gentleman over there with a mic, and we'll come to the lady next.
Hi, Josh from Bang Showbiz. Question for Cher firstly. All the cast in featurettes and previous interviews have described a certain energy when you were on set that day. How did it feel for you actually stepping on that set with all these incredible cast? And then for the rest of the cast, what was your favourite number and why? Because there are some absolute bangers in this film.
I was terrified because everyone had been together, and also my character wasn't very liked by anybody. So, but I was really nervous, but all was great, and you were adorable, and everybody was so nice to me. And then Meryl was she was behind a piece of scenery watching me do my number. So that made me feel good after the fact, because I didn't know it. But it was hard to go on a set where you were a stranger to everyone. I mean, I knew some of the people, but and also to have such a, this kind of mean grandmother kind of thing, and then try to work your way into your story and try to be friends with everybody. But it was, I must say, I felt really kind of loved, kind of loved, and kind of a great grandmother.
You weren't just kind of loved. It was.
Who's got a favourite track they want to pick then from the film?
What about, wait, is it the favorite track that we did perform?
Is it favorite track?
Or the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that we loved most?
It's your favourite track
That
that
you
you were
performed.
in and you
Okay.
performed, and why?
Go for it, go. Go.
I've been waiting for you.
Yes.
Just, it turned out so well with the inner cutting of Donna and having Sophie. And oh my God, it feels so good to be a dynamo finally. I mean, everything you see, like when we hug each other before we start the song, every single time I felt like it was me, and you, not our characters. And it was just really great.
Amazing. You broke me at My Love, My Life. Oh my God, completely.
Designed to do.
Completely. It's so good. Anyone else?
Mamma Mia was. Oh my God, sorry, I just spoke over someone.
Go for it, Alexa.
Mamma Mia was huge because there's this weird thing that's sort of come after it. It's one of the biggest songs ever and one of the best songs ever. And whenever I hear it in a restaurant or a radio in a car somewhere, I just think like, oh my God, like we did that. We performed that song, and I think the new version of it with Lily singing a cappella, and oh God, it's just so beautiful. And the feeling that you get, even when that set was empty and it was just us three doing it to the camera, just the feeling of empowerment and love in the room was just, it was electric. Yeah, you could feel it everywhere. That was my favourite. It was amazing.
Yeah. Judy, do you want to pick one up?
Yeah, my favourite has to be, though, I love every song and everyone who's singing them, but Dancing Queen was epic for a producer, a director, and a choreographer. Earl wrote it as Dunkirk, really, and the ambition of a flotilla of boats with 150 dancers was, it was a pretty amazing few days, and Amanda and Christine were there. And it was also the first day that I think our legacy cast had almost started. I think it was Pierce's first day. I remember him saying, I'm so happy to be back, and I was actually skipping this morning. And he meant skipping on the set, which he really was. But it was, it took a lot of planning, that scene, in rehearsals, but to actually be out on the sea with the boats was pretty amazing.
Great.
My favorite moment in the film is when Grandma goes, Fernando.
I think it's
Oh, God. Delightful.
And I like the opening, actually, with 147 students dancing together, after being biking for a bit. I like that. And I like the last scene. My Love, My Life. With the three of them.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Got a question for the lady here?
Yes. So first I would like to thank you all for the amazing movie. And it was a really emotional film, and yesterday it made the audience laugh and cry. So I would like to ask, what was the most emotional moment for you, either while filming the movie or preparing for the role? What made you laugh and cry?
Can you direct that to a couple of people, please?
Actually,
Not everyone, a couple of people, please.
I can't choose.
Who would like to pick up on that? Is there someone who can pick up?
Really? Amanda, Cher.
There we go. Amanda, do you want to pick up on that for you? What was it? The most emotional moment for you in the film.
I've been waiting for you. It's just like I have a new baby, so it's just being able to express that in song. It's just the best. Motherhood.
Yeah, I've Been Waiting for You was also my favorite moment with the daughter of Donna in the center suddenly, and Julie and I flanking her like we become mother figures and female support to her. And it's an exquisite song, but the choreography, everything about it was just really poignant and very resonant. It's like Meryl is there, even though she's not there.
Lily, do you have the most emotional for you personally whilst making the film?
But even the same, really, I've been waiting for you, because knowing that the young Donna was giving birth to Amanda, to Sophie, and actually, I was listening to Amanda sing, and it is so beautiful, and I had this big belly on, and I really felt the baby kick. I was so like in it, and then all the director sort of led me through the birth, and he essentially became my birthing partner. He was holding my hand going, and breathe and push, and he pushed. And I was like, this is so weird.
That's kind of how it is.
And that's how it is, I guess. I don't know. But it did feel like Meryl was there. That felt like it was a very surreal moment for me, you know, and that was special.
You guys want to pick up on it? Alexa, have you got a moment for you?
That day where, so basically the last ever thing we shot on the movie was the scene. It's a very brief moment, but it's when Tanya and Rosie leave. We say goodbye to Donna, not knowing, I think, at the time that she's pregnant, and that was the very last moment that we had together.
That was the last. That was the last scene of production.
It was,
that was,
yeah.
We wrapped after that.
We wrapped,
and that was just. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Cataclysmic, like the emotions when they were like, "That's a wrap on Mamma Mia." We were all just standing together, like we just said goodbye, and it was like, what? And it was, yeah. I mean,
that was good.
Well, Kristen just said she didn't want it to end. You could always do another one.
None of us wanted it to end. We didn't want the movie to end. No. No.
Well, listen, we can't thank you enough for your time today, for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. Please, guys, if you would like to make your way out, much appreciated for your time today. Thank you very much. Alexa, Jess, Benny, Judy, Cher, Amanda, Lily, and Christine, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You